So hello everyone. So now we're going to demonstrate how to safely open a dressing tray or any sterile field in a sterile manner. The first thing you want to make sure of is that you have all your stuff close by, because as soon as your field is open, you cannot leave it to fetch something, because as soon as you turn your back or you leave the room, we consider that your sterile field is now contaminated. Also make sure that you perform proper hand hygiene and that your working area is clean. So first of all, you can open the kit itself. So there's always one side of the wrapping that is pre-cut, so it's you can easily open it. So this you can discard. Now, the field itself. If you see here, there's always one little flap that is not tucked the same way. So that side has to be towards you, because when you open a sterile field, you always open it away from you first. So you take the first flap here and you open it away from you. Again, any sterile field, the 1 inch, the outer border 1 inch is considered contaminated. So that part you can touch. Now you're going to do one side. Again, you can touch the 1 inch border. So make sure you open it properly so it doesn't fall back on. And you can take the third flap here. Now, for the fourth one, there's a tweezer that's kind of hidden in the fourth flap. So make sure that you don't pull on it, otherwise the tweezer is going to fall and you won't be able to use it anymore. So you can just lift the fourth one and then you grab your tweezer. Make sure the tweezer, you grab that portion here and not the tip, because the tip needs to stay sterile, as you will need it to move stuff in your sterile field. So you can grab your tweezer, you open your last flap. Now, again, by grabbing the 1 inch border, you can move your field to make yourself more comfortable, like this. Now you need to move stuff from your tray. So usually the first thing on top is an extension of the sterile field. I'm going to explain that in a couple of minutes. That tweezer, if you have to put it down, make sure that the tip that has to stay sterile is more than 1 inch inside of your sterile field, so you can still consider that it's sterile. This extra sterile field, some people will use it under a patient's limb if they have to do dressing care. You can use it if you do trach care, or you can choose to discard it. But again, if you use it, you can touch the 1 inch border and without contaminating it. Okay? Now, I'm going to take my little tweezers again. So now you can move stuff around. So I'm going to put the metal one on the side. This one here is a garbage bag. So this, it doesn't need to be sterile, so I can put it on the side. I have some 2x2s and 4x4. Again, as I said earlier, the 1 inch border is contaminated. So everything that is within that 1 inch border, it's considered contaminated, so you cannot use it. So if I put this back here, so if I were to drop this here, well, those, I would have to discard them, just because now they are considered contaminated. Put them back at the right spot. Now, if you need to add fluid into your container, if you need for a dressing change, if you need a cleansing solution, when you pour your NS or whatever liquid, make sure that you don't do it from too high, otherwise it's going to splash, or if you're too close, the side here of your bottle might touch the inside of your field, so it's going to be contaminated. So you have to be right above and be careful not to splash too much, because if there's a lot of water on your field, it's going to be considered contaminated. So be careful with this. So this is when you add fluid. If you have to add compresses, when you open stuff to be dropped on your sterile field, make sure you step a little bit away from your field, not to touch it accidentally. So when you open your 4x4, there's always one side that is easily open. So make sure you open it first, and then you can drop it onto your sterile field. Again, within that 1 inch border. So this one is fine. If you have to open a syringe, same thing. You step away from your field, you open it, and then you drop it onto your field, and so on. So you can add as much stuff in your field as you need. Again, if you turn your back on your field, if your clothes are touching your field, if you reach over your field, chances are your sleeves are going to touch whatever's inside your field. So it's going to be considered contaminated. So be very careful how you manipulate your field. Thank you.